Donovan Manguba-Glover. Yeah, I work and own Rising Tide Tattoos. I don't really like to say own, I kind of just work here. So like the way I like to compare it is like me in general, I'm just like, that empty Voltron, the empty shell, and it takes all these artists are the ones that power it. Yeah, my name's just on the paper, and that the shop wouldn't be the shop without everybody. It wouldn't be called the Rising Tide without this team. 90% of my designs, I design and I throw it away. As soon as I get it to the person or on the skin, I throw it, so I'll never, the Hohner and stuff, it's printed now, so I couldn't tell you what's on there. I couldn't tell you what patterns or where my mind was at the time I drew it. I draw a rough sketch of something, and then I fill it in onto whatever patterns come to my head at the time. So it's honestly just a spur of the moment. I guess it's just from the heart or what I'm feeling. I can honestly tell you that there is significant meaning behind the patterns that they probably never think about. Like there's a lot of traditional patterns that I look at and don't even think about the actual symbolism behind it. You can take a skateboard, a surfboard, you can take a flute, take the structure of it, but it's what you fill it, what the patterns that fill it with is what represents it. You have an apple, but in that apple, you have these patterns that you drew in there, and it changes the whole design itself. Like, it's not an apple anymore, it's just an outline of an apple that symbolizes so much more by the structure of the patterns and the meanings, and the symbolism behind the patterns that fill that apple. I've studied different cultures. I've worked under great people who's explained patterns to me, but for the most part, it's just what looks nice at the time. Like when I look at something, how it's going to be structurally laid out, or the flow of the body will determine what pattern I put there or what they want it to represent. And then if they don't really care what it represents, then yeah, the pattern just comes to what artistically looks good. Especially the octopus, and I usually stick to patterns that associate with the ocean. Like if you're gonna draw land stuff, you try to draw more land patterns. If you're gonna draw ocean stuff, you try to stick to the ocean theme. When we grew up, Dole had his big presence. So that's what we woke up to. We woke up to the plantation workers. We woke up to the smell of pineapples. Driving to school or to or from home, like you drove through the pineapple fields. Yeah, I personally don't like pineapples, but it does remind me of home when I think about it. Taco, I think I hit more with the local people just because all the fishermen, and it has the Polynesian designs behind it. I'm not a diver. I go with friends who dive. And I'll just cooey their like fish and stuff, but yeah, I've watched them. I've never personally took a taco out of the hole, but I've watched them do it and got to play with them all the time. Or you see them swim past. Like, I'm a surfer, so I'm in the water, I would say 90% of the time. So you do get to see different wildlife. Every time in the water you see a Hohner. If you don't see a Hohner, then you know that you're probably surfing in some dangerous waters at the time. Just because Hohner is usually, they hang out at places where, they avoid predators, obviously. So if you see a bunch of them, then you know that for the most part, there's no predators around. I just think they're majestic creatures. They're beautiful. They're hippies of the ocean. The tourist stuff is played out. It's stuff that you find online. What I want to give is a piece of myself. So even though I don't know what I put, I don't know what I'm doing going into it. I know that it's from the heart. It sounds corny, but it's a flow. It's just something that comes to me right then and there. So I guess it's the purest form you're gonna find. Eventually, we want to get our stuff into phone cases, t-shirt companies, or just a design marketing, and in that way, yeah, I can be 80 and still doing what I love to do. And of course, my body will deteriorate and I will get shaky. So yeah, this stuff right now, it's really fun. It's like I can share the culture to the rest of the world. People, I know that a lot of the biggest customers are like the Asian Japan, and it's really cool to think that people are walking around there with this art.